name is Linda Wilbur. I was baptized, obviously, at a very young age here at Emmanuel. My mom and dad and I were very close. When I was 21 months old, I had polio, and because I had so many visits over to U of M hospital, and my mom did not drive. She never learned to drive, and so when my dad was working, which was a lot, he had to work 2 jobs most of the time, we would ask neighbors or friends or anybody to take us over there. We were going over there quite often. Because of the polio and because of it not being very acceptable back in the 40s to have polio, it was a very scary time for people. It was very scary. I equate it to like having AIDS or something in the 80s, because nobody knew how you caught it, and nobody wanted to take a chance on getting close. So when I started kindergarten, it was a hard time for me. Elementary school was very hard. I did not have very many friends because the kids' moms did not want them to be around me because they just didn't know. And so I was very close to my parents for that reason. My mom was my support person. My family was not a real church-going family, but you know, we came for Christmas, we came for Easter, and then I was confirmed, you know, the 3 years of Saturday mornings here for confirmation, and then of course I didn't feel the need at that point to come back again until I got married here. So yes, I consider myself a lifer, even though I kind of missed a few times in between. So I kind of began attending regularly with my father after my mom passed away. I think we both needed the support, needed a spot, someplace to feel good about things. It was a hard time. And I was thinking about when my dad and I would come, how nice it was to have somebody reach out and shake our hand and be happy to see us. And I thought, oh yeah, we could do that. So my dad and I became greeters. About once every month or so we would be a greeter. My dad was old school. He wanted to come to church, sit in the pew, sing a little bit. He had a great voice, and then he wanted to go home. So when I said, Dad, we're going to be a greeter, he's like, what? Why would you sign us up for that? And I said, because I don't want to do it alone. And then he was okay with that. So that became part of our Emmanuel life for quite a while. And that was a blessing for me to be able to do that. At a time when I kind of first started doing home visits, I'd only been doing them for a year or 2. And Pastor Dave came to me and he said, I have a young woman, and her husband contacted me, and this young woman she is dying of cancer. He said she needs somebody as a friend, as a person to visit her, not even necessarily to bring her communion, because she does not know how she feels about her beliefs. He said, I think you would be a good person to go and visit her. What do you think? And I said, I don't know. I had not done that before. I don't know if I can do that. And he said, she is not going to last long, but she needs somebody. For a long time, I thought to myself, what was Pastor Dave thinking? I can't do this. But every time I went, I was glad that I went. I would spend a couple of hours with her once or twice a week. And as her time got shorter and shorter, I felt more comfortable with knowing that she knew where God was in her life. And that made me feel really good to know that I had helped her in any way at all for more peace in her life. I found out that being part of this Emmanuel family led me to places I never dreamt I would go. I became a Stephen minister. I coordinated the New Year's Jubilee events for several years. And I led several Bible studies. We still lead Bible studies, a group of us. I also worked with some HIV/AIDS patients outside of Emmanuel. And it's only because of Emmanuel that I was brave enough to do that, because I never thought I qualified. I thought, all these people that do so many things, they're qualified, I'm not qualified. And so then I started visiting the homebound and the sick, and Monica and I visited for a while, and then now Diane Burris and I, well, we're not doing it right now, but we visit our homebound friends, take communion, take news from Emmanuel, take love from Emmanuel, let them know that they're not forgotten. And now, because we're not able to visit, I try and call all the people on our list. I try and call them once a week. Just to say hello. You know, some of them have memory problems, so they don't even know who they're talking to. I'm just hoping that the love shines through, that's all. So, yeah. So, I have a quote. I don't know who wrote it. I carried it around with me for many, many years. So my quote is, I am only one, but I am one, and I cannot do everything, but I can do something. And what I can do, I ought to do. And what I ought to do, by the grace of God, I will do. And I love that, because it's like nobody expects you to do everything. Sometimes one little thing, one phone call can make the difference in a person's life. And I am just very proud that sometimes I do that. People will say to me, I was so looking forward to somebody calling me today, and you're the only one that did. And it touches my heart very much when I hear that. I think that life goes full circle. You know, if you're in a spot and you need help, someone will reach out and help you. And then when you're able, you reach out to somebody else. That is exactly the way that it's supposed to be. And that is God working through us. That's how it's supposed to happen. Emmanuel draws me back because of the family ties I have here, and not blood ties, but love ties. These things are just, these folks here are just more important to me than I could ever express. They have been there for me when I needed help. I have been there for them if I could ever help them. Yeah, and I find that at Emmanuel, between God and my friends, I am never alone. I am never, ever alone. When I think of the many programs here at Emmanuel, I am just so inspired and humbled by all of the volunteers that keep things going here. I'm just so impressed. And I found that if you think that you do not have any talent or any abilities, speak to Karen Facer, speak to Pastor Alex. They will find a spot for you, whether you want to volunteer a little bit or a lot. Just say, I've got an hour a week or an hour a day. There's a spot for you. There is an absolute place that you are needed and welcomed.